remarks, and I'll start with that. Okay.
Sure, sir.
Okay.
A very warm welcome to all of you to the Sand-box FedEx Day. I'm Latilini, member of Sand-box Lighthouse team and your moderator for the day. So before going to know about today's session, as many of you are all-time students of Sand-box, but for the first timers who are new to Sand-box, I would like to brief you about Sand-box. So Sand-box is an edtech startup company founded by Mr. Jani Basha Sheikh, who is also the CEO. The main aim of Sandbox, it uplifts students to bridge the skill gap between academics and the industry. So in the past, Sandbox has also collaborated and successfully created an impact for IT career seekers by providing hands-on implementation for 30 days on life cycle of software, webinar on employability factors, tips and tricks to ensure you're job ready from the live practical interviews. So you can know more about Sandbox by visiting our website, sandboxtech.com, and also you can learn more about the upcoming events, webinars about Sandbox. So I would like to request, and it's my pleasure to welcome Johnny sir to tell a few words on the FedEx Day. Over to you, Johnny sir.
Thank you, Celine. That was a very nice welcome note. Hi, students. Welcome to the session. So today is the FedEx boot camp. So FedEx Day. So I'll introduce what FedEx Day is and what is this meaning of this and why we are conducting that. So let me try sharing my screen and see if you can access. You're able to see my screen. So students joining on the YouTube. So, yeah, student joining on YouTube. If you have any concerns, please do let us know. Our team is monitoring the chat. And students, if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to type in the chat. Our team will get back to you. So let me share my screen. Can someone confirm if you can see my screen?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. So let me discuss about what FedEx Day is and what is it for the students, why you should be joining and what is the benefit you are going to take away from here. So before starting about FedEx Day, so let me speak about the Sandbox. So as Celine has mentioned, Sandbox is a tech startup. So we have started as a lighthouse for students. So just like a lighthouse, how it shows direction in the darkness to ship. So we wanted to show light through direction. So that is a theme behind Sandbox and establishment. So as part of Sandbox, Salim said, we have done multiple programs. You might be aware of that. So many of you are part of the SLC life cycle of software, WhatsApp groups uh, that APSTC has created for us. So that has created a very good impression, and we were very much happy from the warm welcome we received from students for the program. That was a 30-day program, and altogether we received around 97 plus positive feedbacks from students, and heartfelt thanks from our side to all the students who has participated and given us warm feedbacks. And um, I'll talk much about Sandbox, but let's start what FedEx Day is and why we are doing that. So generally, companies like IIT companies mainly they organize FedEx Day. So it'll be a one-day boot camp in the company. So employees will be encouraged to step out of their regular works, and they focus on one innovative idea. So they will be asked to form teams. They just find meeting room and just sit there and brush up on the out of box idea and implement that. So within the 24 hours, they should be able to complete and deliver. So that is the theme companies follow. So we want to introduce the same thing for students. And the theme of the FedEx Day would be story and science of data. So we want to take data science as a project and we want to introduce that to you. So because we are not co-located, we are not able to form team. So we'll be considering one person as team, and we'll be giving the project, the task to you. So you'll be able to innovate in your own ways, and you'll be able to submit that. So as the FedEx team says, we will be delivering on overnight. So by tomorrow midnight, you should be receiving your certificates of participation and certificates of task completion. So this is a banner we have created. So hope all of you would have seen that. So we have mentioned that this will be a boot camp on a data science, meaning that so we would expect some kind of pre-knowledge on the Python part, at least an understanding of basic data science. Without that, you will feel it little harder to understand and execute the task. So even though you are not able to do the task, you can take the participation certificate, but try to learn and do within the 24-hour period. So we can make full use of the day. So what FedEx Day is like within the, as I mentioned, so 24-hour event will be there. So teams will be formed by employees, and a theme will be given, and out of the box ideas are welcomed, and teams will be working and delivering overnight. Before the midnight, they'll be completing and they'll be submitting, and there'll be rewards for doing that. So there are main reasons why companies do that. So so companies and employees will get to know how much can be achieved in one single day. So when you keep everything aside and you start on proper time and you end on proper time, and you will be able to work focusedly on one theme, one task, you'll be able to deliver it very with high efficiency. So that is one of the reasons. And as part of this, innovative ideas will come. So teams will sit together and they will work. So it will be one day per year. So teams will come with their ideas and they will introduce, they'll discuss, the brainstorm, and they can create innovative products out of the day. So there are tasks we are giving. So you can innovate. You're free to add, modify, or do something, but you cannot change the task. So if you copy paste something, you know that will not work. So within the task even, so you are free to innovate a solution, and you can just present to us. So top performers will be awarded, and will be presenting on the website. So we want to introduce a corporate style of what is out of box thinking, what is how innovative working culture happens in a company. So we want to introduce that to students. This is something new for students. So and the speed processing. So we'll have 2 hours of time. So before 12 p.m. today, we'll be completing the session. So we'll be introducing the hands-on session. Papri will be introducing you the hands-on demo project. So we'll be giving you the links, sample data and sample codes. So you'll be able to make use of that. So at 12 p.m. today, your implementation window will start. So you will get time till midnight where assignment submission links will get closed. So before that, you should be submitting that. So if you can make full use of this 12 hours, you'll be able to get the task completed second by tomorrow midnight. So this is the team behind this whole event. So they are the interns team. So we are 30+ team. So many of the members have been onboarded from our life cycle of software training program. So whoever has participated that, so from there we have given opportunity, and they trusted, and they came and joined the team. So with the help of this team, we are able to build a website, the campaigns, that whatever the materials, banners, posters you see, the codes, majority of them have been developed by this team. So trainers and me, so we are facilitators, and the team is innovating. So you can see the results. You would have seen the website, the registration process, the ticket coming to email. So all the YouTube channel, all the social media channels are maintained by this team. So all the codes developed, all the innovation happens by this team. So I'm very much happy. I'm lucky to feel and have this team in the Sand-box. So so a little bit background about Sand-box. So before this program, we have done 1-month training program in collaboration with APSTC. So that was a 30-day training program. So it happened from 24th of August to 20th of September, and most of you may be part of that program. So it went well, and as I said, we have 3,000 plus students participating in that, and throughout the program, we received around 97 plus percentage positive feedbacks from students, and we are very much thankful for all the students. And before to that life cycle of software training program, we did a webinar with APSTC on the interview skills. So the videos are available on the YouTube channels of APSTC. So you can just go and have a look, and you'll be able to understand what is spoken. And if you have any questions anytime, you can just revert to Sandbox Telegram groups or WhatsApp groups. So you can just ping us, and we'll be able to help you. And we have website also, and we have forums, and you can just get in touch with us. There's email ID also listed on the website, so you can just drop us an email and we'll revert to you. So before this interview skill webinar, we have done one more webinar called employability factors. So this is the first webinar we did. So we want to introduce what employers are thinking, what employers are expecting while hiring entry-level job seekers. So this video also available, YouTube recording also available on the YouTube channels of APSTC. You can just go and have a look, and whenever you have questions, you can just revert to us. So little bit about the program. So program is has already started at 10 a.m. and so this session will be completed by 12 p.m. Within this time, so our team will be delivering and completing the demo, and we'll be giving you whatever you needed to start. And so we'll be giving you a task by end of this session at 12 p.m. And you will have time till midnight today to complete the task and submit. So there will be a assignment submission link will be given to you. So our team will explain how to create a link and copy paste into the form, assignment submission form. So you don't have to worry, the team is there. So any questions, you can just feel free to reach out to us. So once you submit, so registration link will close today midnight, and our team will start evaluating the assignments you submit, and we will be completing the process by tomorrow midnight, and we'll be able to share the certificates of participation and certificates of task completion. So that's a quick introduction what I wanted to give. So I introduced what Sandbox is, what FedEx Day is, and why we are implementing FedEx Day for students, and what is the benefits, what is the agenda behind it, what is the takeaway to students for that. And I spoke about the Lighthouse team and their contributions to the Sandbox, and I spoke about the programs we did in previous to this. So, and I introduced you the schedule and how the program is going to be. So before midnight of today, you will be able to, you should be able to complete and submit the assignment, and we'll be able to deliver you certificates by tomorrow midnight. So that is a promise given from Sandbox. So that's a quick session from my side. So quick introduction from my side. So any questions, any concerns on this team, students? Anything you want to know? So team, can please have a look at the chats and let me know if I'm missing any things. Students on the YouTube chat also, please feel free to post your questions. We'll be able to read through. Yeah. Any questions, any concerns, students? Anything you want to know, anything you are not clear, I can reiterate if you want. So the certificates of, so you would have seen this brochure designed by our Lighthouse team members. So you will receive certificate like this. This brochure has been sent to you on the emails and on the WhatsApp groups and Telegram group. So you'll receive the certificate of project completion like this, and certificate of participation will look like this. Okay, so you will be receiving this by tomorrow midnight. So you would have seen our website. If anyone of you are yet to visit the website, please go. And this is a beautiful website designed by our Lighthouse team. And so within a month, within less than a month itself, this is up and running. And we are delighted to see such excellence delivered from the team. And they are interns and students, so they are working passionately and trying to achieve excellence. So that's a commendable job they are doing. Yeah. So that's it from my side. So if there is no other questions, I'll hand over the session to Celine. Okay, thank you, Jalakshmi.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Johnny, sir, for briefing about the importance of FedEx Day and how the students can make most of from the today's theme, the story and science of data.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, on this note, without further ado, I would like to introduce the speaker of today's session, Ms. Papri, Sandbox Training Facilitator, who has 12 plus years of experience in the domain of data science. Thank you so much, Papri ma'am, for being here to help the aspiring data scientists to shine their skills. So, in the meantime, students, if you have any queries, please post it in the chat box. The Sandbox Lighthouse team will be there to clear all your queries. So, over to you, Papri ma'am.
Thanks, Celine, and good morning, everyone, and a warm welcome to the session. So, without wasting any more of your time, let me share my screen. And Celine, let me know if the screen is visible. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, we can see your screen. It's visible
Okay.
clearly.
Thank you. So, hello everyone. So, I wanted to share that these would be the topics for the discussion of today. One is introduction to the data science. What are the components and tools? The life cycle. What roles are there in the data science? The demands across the world and in India. The use cases. Some practical tips. A brush up on the linear regression, and finally the demo. So basically, what is data science? In one line, if anyone asks you, then it should be data science is nothing but using data to solve real world problems. This should be your answer. And that's the whole concept and inception of data science. So, data science basically stands on three pillars: where, what, and how. Where means from where to get the data, what means what data are you trying to extract and trying to infer, and how means after getting the data, what is it that you would do, what and after doing the cleansing, pre-processing, and everything, what is that you would be communicating for the problem that you are trying to solve to others. So three pillars: where, what, and how. Now remember one thing: data science as such is not a single language or a single tool. It's a it's all all tools, all some technologies coupled together to form a data science. So basically, it's an interdisciplinary field where you would need domain knowledge, you would need some amount of research, you would need to know mathematics and statistics. You would need to know the visualization tools, techniques, etc. So that is all about data science. So if you see, data science is an intersection of so many fields together. So that is nothing but data science. Now, in data science, what happens is a person or someone gives you a real world problem in the context of organization. Your business owner or the product owner would or the organization would give a problem to you. Then after getting the problem, you would get the data. After getting the data, you need to analyze the data and make some inference and share that inference to the business owners or the organization or the stakeholder who has given you the challenge of solving that problem. And finally, share once you implement this data science solution to the problem, you can do the prediction and solve the real world problem. So that is what data science is all about. Just three things. Okay, where, what, How? Use data to solve real world problems. So that is data science. Now the question can come, why do I need data science when there are so many things? Yes, it's a valid question. Why do you need data science? Is because you can make better decision makings, you can do predictive analysis, and
Excuse
apart
me, ma'am.
from that, yeah,
Sorry to interrupt. There's a chat from Pavan. Can you please increase the volume? I think there's some issue.
okay, volume is high.
Yeah, volume is 100% now. So, Pavan, please check from your side. I think it
Maybe
will
you
be
can
better
come a
now.
bit close to my Papri, that will help students.
Okay, so am I audible now?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, you are audible. Yeah, yeah. Please go on. So if you want, you can just increase your pitch for to be more audible, Papri. It's up to you.
Okay, good to
now
go.
it's fine, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's fine.
Yeah.
Celine, is that fine?
Yes, ma'am. It's perfect now. You can carry on.
Hello?
Hello, ma'am. You're audible. Yes.
Yes, Papri, you can carry on.
Can I continue?
Yes, you can continue.
Please continue, ma'am.
Hello?
You can continue, Papri.
Hello?
Yes, Papri. Are we audible to you?
Yeah, you were, I mean, no one of you were audible.
Okay, now you're fine, right? You're audible.
Yeah, yeah.
Carry on, Papri.
Okay. So the volume is okay now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Everything is perfect now. You can continue.
Okay. So we were over here. So why do we need data science? It is because it helps in better decision making with what options to select. Second is we can do predictive analysis, which means what will happen next. And third thing is pattern discovery, which is if there are any hidden informations in the data through analysis that can be figured out. So that is why data science is mainly needed. Now, if I have to quote an example, say for instance, in the aviation industry, while all of you are traveling through, we all travel through aeroplanes, right? So over there, many a times you have seen that there would be delay in flights or the flight gets cancelled and you get communicated. The entire reason for that is because either the data available is not proper, or even if it is proper, no one has looked into it. There might be chances that there are some missing things or incorrect data that is present, as a result of which the coordinators would not get the right information at the right time. And that's when either they cancel the flight or they delay the flight. Other thing that if you see, there might be improper route planning. So you want to travel from destination from source A to destination B, right? And you are expecting a flight at certain point in time, but you don't get it. So that is nothing but your improper route planning. The only reason is because of data. So you see, everything in this world is all because of data. So if your data is correct and the analysis and prediction that you do is correct, everything else will fall in place. But if your data is not right, then everything will go incorrect. Everything would be wrong. So that's the reason why data science is needed, and it is booming up. It is an upcoming. it's already a booming field, and there are a lot of scopes in this data science, which we will see in some upcoming slides. Coming back to the components and the tools. Now, what are the components in the data science zone? Basically, if you see on the left hand side, it is your machine learning, your mathematical modeling, some of the statistics, computer programming, that is any one of the technologies or languages, and finally the databases. So these are all the components of the data science. In one line, if I have to say, it is not. It is but a T. T means horizontal as well as vertical. So, what are the tools that are needed for data analysis? You can use any of the tools. You can use Jupyter, R, MATLAB, Excel, etc. And the skills can be R, Python, statistics. Now, for machine learning, the skills needed can be Python, algebra, ML algorithms, statistics. Tools can be Spark, Mahout, Azure. Uh, Again, it can be any cloud-oriented tools as well. Okay. Then data warehousing is all the ETL concepts, and the tools are Informatica, Talent, Redshift, again cloud-based tools. And finally, for data visualization, it is Jupyter, Tableau, ClickView, ClickSense, and skills can be R, Python, and other libraries. So if you see, for each one of you, you can go in any one of these four fields within data science. You have that scope. Okay. Now, coming back to life cycle, as you have a software engineering life cycle, similarly, you would have a life cycle for data science also. So, within the life cycle, the first phase is your concept study. So, by concept study, we mean understand the problem that is given, understand the business, understand the root cause of the problem, understand the data flows, understand what kind of data it is. Then do an estimate what all things are needed in order to resolve that problem and give a solution. What tools you would use, what technologies are needed, how will you do the documentation, where will you capture it, and how are you going to demonstrate, how would it be sent into production. So all these things happen on the concept study phase. Second phase. Now all the studies, everything has been done. You identified the sources from where you will get the data, what data you would need. So here in the second phase is data preparation. So once you identify, try to create a pipeline to get that data from the different sources that you would need in order to do the analysis. That is nothing but data preparation. And you're going to cleanse the data. You would do all the pre-processing, all the required steps that are needed during the data preparation phase. Now your data is all cleaned and it is ready. After Once it is ready, after that, what do you do with that data? Next comes, so you'll have to do something called as model planning because you need to do something with the data, right? Now here comes model planning. During the model planning phase, you'll have to decide what algorithms that you are going to apply on the data. Now, remember one thing, in the first phase, while you identify the type of data, whether it is structured or unstructured, if it is unstructured, then how are you going to structure it and keep it within the database? That is what you would have done in the concept study phase. In the second phase, if it is unstructured, you'll have to decide whether you're going to work with the unstructured data or you're going to structure it and then keep it within the database. Now, with all the data, structured or unstructured, you're going to apply the models or you're going to apply the algorithms. A set of algorithms you're going to apply on the data and see which gives you a promising result, promising outcomes. Once you have done that, so model planning phase is finished. You have out of say 20 algorithms, you decide that you would apply 10 of them, and that 10 algorithms is what you would have applied during the model planning phase. Now, model building. Okay, so out of 10, you see that two are giving promising results. Now, either you can use both of them because a mix of both algorithms is giving you promising results, or out of if both are giving similar results with a variation in decimal places, then you can select any one of them and try to build your final model and see and apply it on your data and see what is the outcome, whether it matches and solves the problem or not. So that happens during the model building phase. Once the model building is complete, you are ready. What are you ready for? You are ready for showing the results, the inferences, the analysis that you would have done and want to share with your business owners or stakeholders or the person with who has given you the problem to solve. So now you are in the communication results phase where you're displaying this is the data that I have used, this is the algorithm that I have used, this is the outcome that I get, and this matches with what you are expecting. So this would solve the problem that you have given me. That is nothing but your communicating results. Once the person gives is satisfied and gives a nod, yes, this solution that you have given would help in solving the problem. I am ready for implementing. That is when you go on to the operationalize phase where you're deploying your models, you're deploying your data and everything onto production. So these are the 6 phases of a data science life cycle. Next, now, what are the roles in data science? Okay, as I mentioned, because it is a T role, which means spreading horizontally as well as vertically. So each one of you gets a chance to contribute in this field of data science. And what are the different roles that you can look out for? It is a data analyst, data engineer, a DBA, a machine learning engineer, data scientist, architect, statistician, business analyst, and finally the manager. Now, one thing is a data scientist is a data you become a data scientist once you have gained knowledge in all the above 4 phases. That is when you become a data scientist. So it's an end-to-end solution. You get to know the end-to-end phases. So these are all the roles in the data science zone. Now coming back, as I mentioned in few 3-4 slides before that, there is a scope for each and every one of you to make your participation in the data science demands, and now the world is moving towards data science. Everyone is running about after data science, and I showed you the reason why. Now, across industries, you will find a lot of open positions where you can apply for a data scientist. The reason being there is high demand across all industries, whether it is in marketing, finance, healthcare, gaming, technology, aviation, logistics, e-com, HR, and real estate. And one of the e-com is where all of you know it's a day-to-day activity that we do, that is ordering by using Amazon websites or Flipkarts. So you get the recommendations over there, right? I select a particular jam variation, and automatically you will see either on the side or a pop-up coming up where they tell, okay, apart from this company, there are other companies where they are also offering the jam products and these other variations. So that is nothing but pure data science that works behind on the uh, Amazon or any Flipkart website. Then movie recommendations is one of them, where if your friends would have seen one of the movies and you go and log into Netflix or other apps, you see that there are a lot of recommendations where you say you may, where on the bottom you would see something like these movies also you may like. So that is one more example. Okay, so background, everything it is data science. Now, one more thing is if you use an Apple phone, or for that matter, any phone, any smartphone that you're using, nowadays you have this flexibility of once you take a selfie or you click any pics, you can edit it. And there are some phones which are AI enabled, where while you take pics, uh, it it beautifies that pic automatically at the same time. So again, that is nothing but data science. So AI is again a part of data science, right? So that everywhere, if you see, data science is working behind, but we don't realize it. Now, coming back to what are the use cases of data science, it is fraud and risk detection, especially in your credit card and your banking systems, healthcare, where you can identify on cancer, on diabetes, and now new things are cropping up where you can also identify by using AI and data science, the risk of heart attack. You can get to know before. Then you have internet searches in Google. When we are searching, you see the examples. What would be the next word that pops up? That is also data science works behind. Then advertising, website recommendation, image recognition. So if you see nowadays in advertisements of Myntra, where if you are liking a particular product, I remember seeing one where a person is liking a shoe and he says, I want this shoe, but would I get it in Mintra? And he clicks the photo, uploads on the Mintra website, and he sees that that shoe is available over there. So that is nothing but your image recognition. Speech recognition is, if you see in AWS, Eco, and Amazon Lex, right? So over there, if you're speaking, that in the background that gets converted to text. So that is again ML AI data science. Then airline route planning, gaming, and augmented realities. So these are all the applications, use cases that comes under the data science field. Some practical tips. You become a data scientist only if you have three C's within you. First thing is curiosity, second is common sense, and third is communication. Now, by curiosity, I mean ask questions so that you have better understanding of the business problem that is challenged to you, that is given in front of you. Common sense is there are new ways always to solve any business problem and identify and detect any problems that might come in the future. Obviously, ignoring the natural calamity. But one more thing I would like to mention here, even now, there are researches that are going on where you can also predict the upcoming natural calamity that would happen on Earth. For instance, the earthquake, then your forecasting or when the volcano would again erupt. Uh, so all these things. So common sense is nothing but identify new ways to solve business problems and detect priority problems. And finally, communication. Communicate your findings to business so that they can act upon the insights that you have given them and they can make better decisions. So 3C traits, if it is there in you, you are ready to become a data scientist. Basically, if you see on this diagram, so these are the three things. ask the right questions and explore the data, model the data using various algorithms, and finally communicate and visualize the results and share with your problem owners or product owners or the person who has challenged you with the uh, problem to solve. In short, I would conclude telling that the core job of a data scientist is to understand the data, extract useful information out of it, and apply this in solving the problem. So that is all about data science. Okay. Now, since there is a demo that would happen next, so that you get the feel of what we can do in data science by taking one of the use cases, and we are going to use a linear regression algorithm. So just a brush up, I guess everyone would know, you would have done in your 10 and 12. So just a brush up, so linear regression algorithm is one of the easiest statistical model where you're trying to understand the linear relationship between the dependent variable and one or more independent variables. That is point one. And point two is a linear regression is always identified by y is equal to mx plus c, where y is your dependent variable, x is independent variable, and c is the intercept. In the diagram you see here, on the x-axis is your independent variables, which can be one or many, and on the y-axis is your dependent variable. And this line that you see is the regression line. And these are the points which are surrounding this line. Any point or any data that falls within this line, within this straight line, is a good fit. Any data which has it is far away from this line, which is nothing but your estimated value. On the left hand side we can consider it to be the actual value, on the left hand side we can consider it to be the estimated value. Anything which is far away from this line, which means there are errors in what we are trying to predict. So the main aim should be to minimize that error. Okay.
Ma'am,
If yeah.
so before further you proceed with the demo, there's a question from C. Anil Kumar Reddy.
Okay.
Difference between analysis and analytics, if you would like
Okay.
to answer.
Sure. So analysis where you are getting the data. As I mentioned in the concept study, you get the data, you identify the sources, and in the second phase, you are doing the analysis of this data. What does each field mean? What we have to do with this data? So that is analysis. You're basically trying to understand the data as part of your analysis. And analytics is basically after you have done all this, you are going to apply statistical models or mathematical expressions, and then you're going to create charts and display it on your visualization board. So that is analytics.
Yeah. Hope the question is answered. You can please continue, ma'am.
Okay, so this is all about linear regression, and finally is the demo. Yeah. So any questions on all the slides?
Only one question for now, ma'am,
Okay,
which you
so
have answered just now. Yeah.
okay. If there is none, then
Not even from YouTube chat. So I think you can go for this demo.
okay. So then we can start with the demo. So let me proceed. I hope my screen is still visible.
Visible, ma'am.
Okay, cool. So today, as I mentioned, we would do a demo on by using the linear regression algorithm on one of our data sets in order to predict the salary based on the job profile. Okay. So our use case is salary prediction based on job profile using linear regression. I hope all the setups by all the students has been done. So Celine, can you just check and
Yes, ma'am.
confirm so that
Ma'am,
everyone is ready? Yeah.
yeah, there's one question which came in now. Is data analytics branch of data science?
Yes, it is one of the sub branch of data science. Yes.
And uh, and one more, difference between data analyst and data engineer and data scientist.
Okay.
You can
Uh,
see through the chat if you want.
mm, okay.
Would you like me to repeat the question, ma'am? Data analyst versus data engineer versus data scientist.
Mm. So a data analyst is someone who works on the data, gets the data, okay, and basically analyzing the data. That is the job of a data analyst. A data engineer is in the study phase you identified source A, B, C, D, or from any sources for that matter from where you're getting the data. So that is the role of a data engineer who thinks about how to get the data from those different sources and what kind of transformation that you're going to apply on those uh, data sources and process the data. So that is the role of a data engineer. And data scientist is someone who takes all that has been done by the data analyst, by the data engineer, on top of that, applies the mathematical and the statistical models and gets the output and can use the algorithms also, derive the insights from those data on which the models has been applied, can put it in a visualization board and share it with the business. So a data scientist, as I mentioned, it's an end-to-end. In order to become a data scientist, the above phases that I had showed in the PPT, right? Where a data scientist should be a data analyst, should be a data engineer, should be a machine learning engineer, everything. So a data scientist should know end to end. So that is the difference. But
And
the
one
key,
more, yeah, yes, ma'am, continue.
so in order to become a data scientist, you need to know all the four things, and then you can proceed to become a data scientist.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
end
one
to
more
end,
from
easy.
Anil Kumar
Yeah.
Reddy. Yeah. Can we use R programming for statistical analysis rather than Python? So which one do you suggest, ma'am?
See, R is also good, Python is also good, but now Python is running ahead of R. And there are many things that you can do in Python which has a limitation in R. Though R is, upgrading themselves, but people prefer across the world to use Python. And one more thing, I mean, this is new for me also, and I'm also in the learning phase. There is something that has recently come out, which is your Julia. So people are running towards Julia also.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. So
So is everyone ready with their salary prediction using linear regression? Can you please confirm in the chat, please?
Papri ma'am, I'll take them through this setup part because I have uploaded to the GitHub. So they will be quite new to how to load that and all. So please stay online. If you turn off the presentation, I'll do that.
sure. Yeah, if you can just show them. You were able to access the other GitHub that I shared, right? You
Yeah,
got.
ma'am, but in the account, it hasn't been uploaded. Only one particular file has been uploaded, and the rest two were in like .rar extension, so that wouldn't be in use. So I have uploaded to my GitHub,
Okay.
and we'll be directly accessing from GitHub itself.
Okay, sure. Okay, so you can show them how to
Yeah,
upload.
ma'am, and please stay online. So if there is any issue, like you can back me up.
Sure, sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just stopping the presentation so that you can continue.
sure, ma'am.
Okay.
Jani sir, can I go ahead?
Yeah, please, Pawan, you can continue.
Okay.
Go ahead, Pawan.
Uh, can someone confirm?
Yes, it's visible now.
Okay. So we will be using Google Colab for a demo purpose. So let me take you through that. You will be first redirected to this particular web page. So as you can see, this is actually backed by Google. So the you can click the first link. So Google Colab is something like a virtual machine image with all the pre-installed data science libraries. So you don't need to actually install any other basic libraries. So you can like everything is hosted on cloud, so it should be like pretty fast, and all the data processing will be pretty fast when compared to your local machine. So as you can see, this is will be you will be popped up with this screen. So this is where you can find different examples if you want, like guides and how we can use charts in collaboratory. So these are my recent notebooks. If you have something, you will be shown something here. So this is the access to the drive. All the drive files will be present here. So if you want to like clone something from the GitHub, you can actually take the GitHub repository URL and you can add it and you can clone. So if you want to manually add files from the local machine, you can do that here. So we'll be adding the new notebook. So you will be returned to something like this. So basically, it will be named as untitled, and you will be having some random number prefix. So this is how you will be returned. So what you have to do initially is you have to connect with the cloud system. So it allocates the memory and processing. So it connects, initializes, and then it will be connected. So yeah, this is the symbol. Like this is the assumption that the machine has been connected to cloud. So as you can see, these have different kind of options like file, edit, view, insert, runtime, tools, and help. So if you are working with something like a much bigger file system, so you can go to runtime and you can change runtime. So we are not using any kind of accelerator here as we don't need one. So if you want something like a GPU or TPU, you can actually pick one, and if you click the save, then GPU will be added to your image. And so if you want to like download this particular whatever the code you write, if you want to download that particular thing, then you can go over here and you can download in IPyNib format or PyY extension. So if you want to upload a notebook, you can upload. If you want to rename, you can rename. You can even rename here. So okay, if you see in this left corner, this is a table of contents. Like if you keep on like adding things and all, everything will be listed in table of contents. So you can easily switch to any particular part if you want through table of contents. This is something like if you want to replace a particular word or something with some other thing, so you can do with this. And if you want to like add any code snippets, then you can do from this. These are like general code snippets. You don't need to write actually the entire code. These are the function description. Let us try to use this. So as you can see, I haven't written any code, but this code is all like given by default. And we can actually like take photos from this using this code. So yeah. So this is something like if you want to move cells up and down, and if you want to add some link, if you want to add some comment, and if you want to access the settings. So if you want to delete this particular code cell, then you can go to this particular recycle icon. You can click that, it will be deleted. So this is where you have to like upload files. So basically what happens is Google Colab is accessible to everyone. So whenever you initiate a notebook in the Google Colab, what Google Colab does is it will allocate some of its processing power and some of its power, its storage and memory to you. So everyone across the world will be accessing, right? So what it does is it allocates everything. So if you like turn off this particular system, particular notebook instance, then what it does is it will allocate the same processing power and memory to the next person. That is so as to show the processing power and memory. So whenever it is connected, so if you add some data, if it is connected, the data will be present. But if you once close this data and if you again come to this notebook, the data won't be there, but all the remaining code cells will be there. So that is what. And if you wish to add something, like if we wish to like any of these files, this is my local machine, and if I have navigated to this particular folder, see, that is a reminder. Uploaded files will be get deleted when this runtime is recycled. So yeah, it takes time to upload. So if a particular file is uploaded, then you can easily access that to your local machine. I mean your code cells. So the other option we have is mounting the drive. So if you have any data sets or any kind of data that is present in the cloud, I mean in the Google Drive, and you want to access that particular files, what you can do is you can simply mount the drive. But the thing is, yeah, if you click this to Google Drive, what it does is it connects all these Google Drive to your runtime machine, so you can easily access without actually downloading the data to the local machine and then again re-uploading to Google Colab. So it does that work. So yeah. So for this thing, what we have done is, since the data set is pretty large, so we have uploaded the data to the GitHub so that you could actually easily access it. So without you people downloading the data to your local machine or then again re-uploading data to your runtime. So instead of all these things, we have directly given access to GitHub. So this is a repository where I've kept all these data set that is required. So one second. So these are three different files. So Papri ma'am will take you how to manipulate and how to access, I mean, how to work with these data files. So basically, if you want to access these particular data files, what you have to do is, uh, suppose let us take this. So this is a pretty large file. This is something around 19.7 MB. So GitHub won't be able to show all these like such a large file. So one technique is we can switch to raw. So yeah, it is in the raw form. So what we can do is you can actually paste this link. Papri ma'am will tell you like what exactly is pandas and what we are doing, but I'm just showing how to use that particular thing, like how to extract the data. So, so what I have done is I have initialized a variable called URL, and I have copied this particular URL that is in the raw form. So So yeah, what I have done is I have initialized a variable called URL and I have given the link access, and I have added that to a read CSV method, and then I have read the data. So this is how like you have to access the data, or else I'll give you even the drive link in the chat, and even you can access the data from that. But the thing is, you have to mount the drive and then you have to access, or else you can do this by like a simple URL. I'll just copy paste all these URLs. So yeah, for the test data, I have given the URL. I mean, these are all raw URLs. You don't need to actually manipulate anything. You just need to add these URLs into any of the variable that Papri ma'am says. So you can access that. So this is the test data, and these are two train data. So ma'am will actually take you like what is train and what is test. So this is how I'll even add the Google Drive link. So there shouldn't be any problem. So you can access either way as you wish. And if you at the end of the demo session, like if you want to share for the task, what you have to do is you can head over to the share button. So this is something like you can see here. This is restricted only to the people added can open with this link. So you have to change to anyone with this link, and you can actually copy this link and you can submit that particular link in which you have all your work to us so that we can evaluate. If you don't give access to everyone, so we will not be able to evaluate. So that is all. Any questions?
Nothing for now, Pawan. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so hope
Thank you.
everyone has followed the steps. And if you couldn't, no worries. The recorded session will be available on our YouTube channel. You can go through it even after the session to submit your assignments too. So now we'll go with the demo. Papri ma'am, can you please take the students with the demo, please?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Celine, my screen is visible, right?
Yes, ma'am. Perfect.
Okay, thanks. So, as I mentioned, whenever you start anything, always try to mention what are you trying to achieve as part of the exercise that you're doing. So today, as I said, we will do the salary prediction use case using linear regression. So what is the problem statement? That is what we need to mention here. First is predicting the salary for a job position is crucial for any business, HR, and talent function.
Pardon, ma'am.
Yep.
Sorry for interrupting. There is a query in YouTube.
Okay.
Someone has asked that can I use Jupyter Notebook instead of Google Colab?
Yes.
So can
Yes.
anyone explain?
Yeah, the answer is yes. Jupyter Notebooks, Spider, PyCharm, Colab, or if there are any other tools, Python IDE, anything can be used. So any IDE can be used. Yeah, any
Okay.
terminal, Python terminal also can be used. Yeah. Okay, any other questions?
No, ma'am. You can continue.
Okay. So the problem statement is a must and mandatory for any exercise that you do. That should always be your first thing. Okay, and that is the practice also. That is the organization practice also. So predicting the salary for a job position is crucial for a business HR and talent function for optimizing compensation strategy and talent retention. Uh, and we all know we all are studying hard. We are putting all our efforts just for compensation and to land at the right job with the right compensation package. Now, this is, I mean, while we say it is very easy, right? But it becomes very difficult for any organization's HR to figure out for a candidate who comes, who would come into a company, into their organization. based on his or her experience, skill set, what position can be applied, and what is the salary, competitive salary that can be given. So that is the background of why the salary prediction use case has been, built up and is used by most of the organizations. So they and in general, if you see, out of 10, six of the organizations would use some of the algorithms which runs in the background before the HR communicates what is the salary that would be given to a resource or an individual who is getting hired in that company. Okay. So that is the background of why the salary prediction model is getting used so that you get the feel of how things happen in the real world by using ML and data science. Now, the aim of this project is to build a salary prediction model for existing and future job seekers by examining an existing data set of job positions, okay, postings. The analysis is aimed at explaining every step of the process from defining problem, discovering the data set, developing the model, and deploying into production, which we are not doing. But when you put it in any real scenario, you'll have to put this also, okay, deploying into production. The model applies data transformation and machine learning on features such as work experience, job types, majors, industries, etc. The final aim is to predict salary for a job posting based on all of these available features. Okay. Now, what does our data set contains? It contains all these fields. Remember, concept study. The concept study is done, data identified, and this is the cleanse, and this is the data. Okay. There might be some cleansing needed. First is your job ID, that is the job ID for the role, company ID for the job advertised, what is the degree of the applicant, in what he or she has specialized, what is the category of the job ID, which means in which domain, how many experiences, how much experience is required for that job and for that position, and miles from where the company or the organization is located, and finally comes the most important thing, which is the salary, okay, for the job. So first is your problem statement. Now second is where we are going to import all the libraries from in Python or from scikit-learn. Okay, so these are the things that we use in order to achieve what we are trying to resolve, or in other words, what we are trying to um, predict today, which is nothing but salary based on those features. So now, if you see 3 means, when you see this as 3, which means all your packages has been imported on this session. Okay, all of you have done this. So main things over here is train test split, the MSE or the mean squared error, and finally the model that we are trying to use, which is nothing but linear regression. So train test split is where we are taking the training data set and we are trying to split in a ratio. Mean squared error is where we are trying to figure out the error or the regression loss. And finally, you also get, you also get a help over here, what exactly the packages do. So once you get time, just go and see it. And finally, the model that we are trying to use, which is your linear regression. So once all the packages has been imported, the next thing that you do is you're going to load the data sets that has been provided. And as Pavan showed you, there are different ways of loading it. But right now I'm trying to mount the drive on this session by loading the training data set, the testing data set, and the training salaries, what we are trying to predict, because the model needs to learn. Okay, now that all the data or the data that I'm trying to use has been mounted by help of the packages that I have used, I have stored in the pandas data frame as train dataset DF, test dataset DF, and train salaries DF. Now next what I'm trying to do, this should always be done whenever you work in real time projects where you are going to rename the columns so that it is user explainable and anyone seeing it can identify. Okay. So what I'm doing is for all the data sets, I'm trying to give a proper name in a proper manner in a proper format. So I'm trying to rename all the columns that are present in the raw data set in train, test, and salaries data set. Okay. Post that, I need to understand. Okay, but every time, see, you in real world you will get data in millions. Okay, it would not be in tens or thousands or 20,000. It would be in millions. So manual effort is a lot, and it's highly not possible to go and manually look into the data, open your Excel sheet, and do something. So that's why this pandas data frame is very helpful. Now, in order to understand what kind of information, what kind of data type, or what are the different types of columns that are present in your data set, you use this train data set DF. You use this information, function to understand what is the kind of data, what type of data it is, what is the total amount of data that is present in your data set. You can do the same thing for train, test, and salaries. Now here I wanted to see what is the amount of data and how many fields I have in each of the data set. Okay. So one thing if you see is the training and the training and the testing data set should be of similar type. Similar type as in same length and same data type. And if you see here, it is both same. Any questions still here?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now, after you have identified what kind and type of data, the next thing is you want to see the data. You want to feel the data. So for that, and you want to see the top five, the first five rows of data. You use this head command or the head function, and you see that you get a feel of the data. Okay, this is a job ID. This is a company ID. What type of job? The candidate, what degree he holds, what is the major that he had in his degree, and he's an expert in which industry, the experience that he has in that industry, and how far, if he is taken into the company, how far would he reside, uh, or what is the distance that he resides from the company. Then you might ask why this is needed. This is needed in order to analyze and do some more analytics and predict some more things, but we are not going into that. It is just kept here because we are just taking a sample data set, which is more close to the real world data set, only that the figures are different. Similar thing applies for your test data set also, as I mentioned. Just go and see both the data types and the number of rows should be same. Now train salaries, which contains for each job ID what is the salary on which the candidate has been recruited. So you have only two columns, job ID and salary. The total number of rows is this figure and both are non-null.
Ma'am,
If you want to see,
one
hmm,
question from Mithul
test.
Narsimha. What is train test split?
We'll come that later as and when we proceed.
Okay, ma'am. And also, he's asking like if you can explain sklearn dot model selection and import train test split.
For that, as I showed you, you already have the help documentation which is in line over here. And once there is time, we'll go and see the explanation.
Sure, ma'am. Okay.
So this is the data that we see for the salary, which we are trying to predict for future. Okay. Now what we do is we are trying to combine your training features and salary uh, in order to get the entire row. Okay, for this job ID, how much does a person get? And remember, it is all in dollars, okay, US dollars. Whenever you apply for any company, while you're seeing in India, it would be in INR, but actually when it gets represented and it would be present in the company's database, it will always be converted into dollars. So the salary column is all is in dollars. So what we are trying to do is, now that we have seen the feature training and target data sets which contains the same job IDs, where we would like to store the data sorted by its job ID all in one place. Okay, so what we are doing here is we are combining or merging the train data set and the training salaries to see how the data now looks for each of the positions with respect to the experience. Now, coming here, if you remember, there was one point mentioned which I mentioned about the data cleansing, right? So there are many things that happens in the pre-processing or the data cleansing state. For now, just taken one case where I wanted to figure out whether the salary, any salary contains a value of 0, and this is how you do it. This is the analysis, okay? Whether the salary column contains 0. And we see that after merging, there are 5 rows which contains a salary value of 0. So it is an incorrect data, right? Now we wanted to see which are those rows which contains a salary of 0. That is seen with this one. So these are the rows which contains a salary of 0. So what will a company do when the data, I mean, if in your database you have something salary as 0, ideally it will not happen, but by mistake, if anyone would have done or manipulated the data, that is when you get incorrect data. Now what will a company do, or what will you do with a data which has everything but a salary 0? A person is hired and he gets a salary of 0 is not possible, right? So we will exclude all those rows which has got a salary of 0. And how we do that? We do it by removing, by taking only those non-null values, non-zero values of salary. And that is how, this is how we do it. Okay. So this is the command or the syntax. Now, let's see, after we perform the above steps, whether we have achieved what we wanted by removing non-zero salary rows. And we see that yes, we have achieved. How do we get to know? We get to know, you see, your records have decreased by 5. Next thing. So that was the first thing that we did, where we identified if a salary value is 0. That was the first, one of the cleansing steps. Second cleansing step is to see if there are any duplicate values or not. And how do we check that? Using this command. And we see that there are no duplicate values because a Boolean value of false has been returned. So there are no duplicate values. Now, till here clear, right? I'm not going with the explanation of what each syntaxes do, because that is not what we are here for. We just wanted to see what we can do with data science, how to apply the algorithms, the life cycle that we saw, what phases of that life cycle we are trying to implement over here. Okay. So clear till here, right?
Yes, ma'am. No queries coming in. I hope everyone is on the same page. So you
Okay.
can continue.
So next thing is visualization. So visualizing. what do we visualize? We wanted to see how does our salary look like, and in statistics, or for that matter in maths also, you once upon a time, I mean, you all would have done the histogram and the box plots, right? If not, I mean, just go and refresh those days and try to see how does your salary look like, whether the data is all proper or not. And this is what you visualize. This is how you visualize in order to see what your salary. Okay. So this is how it is. The if you this is the mean, and it's a histogram. So the data is not skewed. It looks proper, and this is the mean somewhere around what 116. For that you can use one more command, which is your info on the train merged. I'm not going into that. So this is how you display, you visualize your data, and this is the box plot. Okay. Now we'll see how does our distribution plot look, because it becomes difficult to identify. So what we are trying to print is how does our what is the median or the mean of our salary. So we can use this command, and we see that the mean, which is this one, this mean, this black line, is at 116, and the median is at 114. This one, this dotted line. Next. So till here clear, right? So we have done visualization. I've just taken the salary, but since there are other fields, you can explore with other fields as well in order to visualize how the data looks, whether it is skewed or not. Uh, what is the kurtosis? Everything you can go and look. I'm not going into those details. That is for all of you to explore. So that is where your statistics come into picture, where you're going to apply the statistics on your data and see how the data looks like. Now, now that during your concept study phase, you would have understood and got the basic or initial understanding of what you're trying to solve, what the business looks like, what you're trying to do. So now you have at least 10% of domain expertise during your concept study phase. So with that, you understood that with job ID has nothing to do with the salary prediction. So what will I do with job ID or company ID, right? Because in a company, the company ID will always remain the same. It will not change. So these columns are unwanted, unnecessary. So we are going to drop them. We drop the job ID, and we drop, so from the we drop the job ID from the trained data set, and the same exercise we need to do on the test data set. So whatever you remember, one thing, whatever you're doing in train, the same thing you need to do in test as well. After dropping, we see whether it is dropped or not, and we see yes, it is dropped. The job ID is dropped. After that, there is something called as one hot encoding, and I'll just go at a high level. I'm not going to go into the details or depth of it. Now, there are two types of variables. One is your numeric and one is categorical. And remember one thing, in computers, in data science, a computer will always understand in zeros and ones. It doesn't understand any other language. So everything that you do, which a human sees with his eyes, is a text, but in the background it gets converted into zeros and ones. So same thing, when a variable is a text, it needs to be converted into zeros and ones, and that's when uh, we use this get dummies function to convert into zeros and ones. So for instance, if you see job type over here is CFO, CEO, Vice President. So the model will not understand. So we need to convert it into zeros and ones, and that's what we are doing over here. One thing, if you notice, when you're trying to use this function on a categorical variable, it gets converted. It creates the number of unique job types that you get, that many number of columns you would get over here. And whenever there is a match, you will get a 1. Other places, you will get a 0. So that's what is happening over here. Okay. So now everything is converted into zeros and ones. After that, what we are doing is, all this we have done on this step. If you remember, we have merged over here. Here we have merged in order to fill the data. Now, since we are in the process of training, so what we do now, from the merged data, we are done with our analysis phase. We have understood what we have to understand using all the visualization charts and everything, the skewness, kurtosis, everything, right? Mean, median, mode, whatever. Now we don't want the salary anymore, right? So what we are doing is, we are going to drop the salary label. And one more thing, remember, if you're using what you're trying to predict in your model, it might overfit your model. So that's why we are dropping it, and we are just taking, apart from salary, only the remaining of the columns, and in a separate variable we are taking the salary column. So this is what we are doing in this step. The comments are self-explanatory. Just go through them. Here is where I think someone asked about the train, splitting. So here we are splitting in the ratio of 80 is to 20. So 80% we are keeping on the training and 20% on the testing data set. So here what we are doing, we are actually splitting the data set. Someone asked this question, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So what we are doing, we are splitting the data set over here. And after splitting, if you see, this is what we get. Initially it was some 99 something. Yeah, here. Your merged data set, these were the total numbers. Now, after splitting, your data set has reduced to 7 this figure, and your testing sample is 199 this figure. So if you sum it up, you will get the above figure, this one, if you sum both of them. Clear, right? I think I don't remember the name, but I hope I've answered.
Yes, ma'am. It's Mithul Narsimha. Yes, ma'am. He's clear with your answer.
Okay. Now is all splitting, test splitting the data set in the ratio, all has been done. Now is where you're going to apply the models. Okay. So as I mentioned, we are going to use a linear regression model. So the first step, we need to create an object, and then we are going to apply that model to create the regression line on the trained data set, that is on these samples. We are going to fit on this data set. So that is over here. And finally, what we are going to do, after splitting, we are going to apply the prediction. After splitting, after our line has been created, we wanted to see whether it matches the prediction or not. Now, we already have the data handy with us. We have something, we know what should it predict. We are going to see whether it matches with our target value, which is the salary, it matches the value or not. And that is what we are doing here. We are trying to predict over here. And then you'll just print the first 5 predicted salaries. Okay, so these are your first five predicted salaries. Okay. Now next comes, now what are you going to predict? You're going to predict, so once your baseline models, if you remember, during the model planning phases, as I mentioned, there would be many models that you would apply, and for each model, you're going to have a baseline model. So here we have only one model. We are going to consider that as the baseline model, and using that baseline model, we'll see whether we are able to predict on the testing salary or not. Okay, so that is what we are doing over here. So this is what we get for the X test data set. We are predicting what is the value that we get, what is the predicted value of the data set that we get. And why this is needed is we wanted to see how far, what is the error in our predictions. The model has fitted the line. Now, what is the error? What is the distance of the predicted value from that line? So that is nothing but your mean squared error. And that is what we are trying to do here. So you get a mean squared error of 385, which is way high. So there are some more things that needs to be done. We are not going in depth of that. So our mean square error is 385. So 386%. Okay, 386. Now, in order to see what is the accuracy of the model, we use this command. So the accuracy is somewhere around 74%. But in real-time projects, when you do, with an accuracy of 74% is not enough. The threshold always gets set where your accuracy should be above 85%, which is very difficult to achieve. So that's why they almost most of the organizations who are using this data science and ML or AI, they restricted somewhere between 80 to 85%. Anything that comes between 80 to 85 should be good enough. But in this case, you see, the accuracy is somewhere around 74%. Now, there can be many reasons. Our data, there might be many other churns and processing that needs to happen for the data, which we have not done because those are again detailed steps. But overall, as a baseline model, this is something that we achieve by doing only some basic few steps. We achieve an accuracy of 74%. So this is how you do in a real world project. It's very simple. It's not that hard. I mean, I know all of you, some of you are already aware, and people who are new, it appears in the first go, it appears that, oh my God, it's so difficult. But ideally, trust me, it's not that difficult. If you do once, twice, thrice, you see, you'll get a hands on it. You'll try to understand what needs to be done, what not. So this is it. Any queries, any questions on the entire process? I'm not going with the syntax of what each command or that all that means, but overall process. Are you able to, relate with what I showed you in the PPT and what we are actually doing?
So, guys, if you have any doubts regarding the demo, or if you are stuck at any point, you want to ask Papri ma'am, feel free to ask right now in the live session. She'll be happy to answer your queries. Um, I think there's nothing for now, ma'am. They understood well for now.
Okay, so
Okay.
stop the presentation and
Yes.
we'll
Thank you so much, ma'am, for acknowledging the students and providing the insights of data science. Hope this was a productive session to the students who want to make their career in data science. And so now it's time for the most awaited question. So, how to claim your certificates? So, guys, you will be receiving your participation certificates because you are the attendees of the live session. But if you want the project completion certificate, as mentioned by Johnny sir in the beginning of the session, so you have to complete the assigned task within the time window that is before 11:59 p.m. That is midnight of today. So please make a note of this. And then the Lighthouse team will be evaluating your submissions, and the students who complete their task successfully will only be receiving their certificate within 24 hours, that is by the end of tomorrow hopefully. In the beginning of the session, I think Pavan has walked you through like how to do the submission of your project. So I hope everyone is clear, and you will be receiving the feedback form in the chat now. So please provide your feedback, and in the feedback form itself, you will have to submit the task too. Ma'am, there's a question. How should we decide which metric should we use and when, like MSc or R score or MAE? And you will.
So I see it's Pavan. So in order to decide on the metrics, it depends on what algorithm that you're using. So for regressions, it is MSc, MAE, R square. There is one RMSc. So it depends on the type of algorithm that you're going to apply on the data.
Hope that is answered, Pavan. Okay, students, I have we have really exciting news for you all too. So the top performers of the project completion will be published on our Sandbox official website, and you'll also be getting a shout out on our social media handles. So make your best effort, and you will be receiving your appreciation. And you can still ask your queries, or if you still have any further queries regarding the task submission or regarding the session, the Telegram group will always be open. The Lighthouse team members will be answering your queries. So anything you want to be answered, you can post there, and we'll be answering you and revert back to you as early as possible. So thank you so much, everyone. I would like to conclude by extending the thanks to, first of all, to Jani sir and Papri ma'am, and the Lighthouse team of Sandbox, without whom this whole event wouldn't have been possible. And thank you so much for such effort, team. Kudos to you. And finally, to the students who showed such level of enthusiasm on Sunday. So, Jani sir, would you like to take the
Yeah, so special thanks from my side team, and without the help of Lighthouse team, we could have not achieved whatever position we are in. So within a week or two, we were able to materialize the event. So from the right from the phase where we got an idea to conduct the FedEx Day event, to have the banners, have the codes, have a planning session, and we have a even dress rehearsal session, and the team has created a lot of utilities. So for the emailing part, Pawan has created one utility to send bulk emails. He has written some Python script. So team has created brochures, certificate templates. So whatever I've shown you today, right from the website, so everything is a creation of the Lighthouse team, and I'm very happy that the interns team, the Lighthouse team, so they are doing extremely well. So within a span of a month or two, so they are able to create so many productive things. So I hope Sandbox would remain a strong platform for students to come and learn. And so coming to the feedback and assignment submission forms, it's there in the chat, and it will also be added to the YouTube description. Please give a feedback and help us improve. So whatever session we have delivered, so how can we make it better next time? So how can we give more beneficial services to you down the line? So your feedback and your suggestions makes matter to us. Please go ahead and give feedback, and whatever the queries, concerns, please type in the chat. We would like to take queries. If there are any concerns, please let us know. So any questions, students, or anything you don't understand, or anything you need in addition?
Yes, I think there's one question to Papri ma'am from Manil Kumar Reddy. Yeah, data analytics and business analytics, what's the difference? Papri ma'am, if you would like to answer.
So data analytics, as I mentioned, it's you're analyzing the data and showcasing it. And business analytics is where once you get the data, then after getting that insight, using that insight, how are you going to make decisions and help improve help improve in the business. So that is where your business analytics comes into picture. So taking the insights from the data analytics team and helping the business using those insights and improving and gaining more, uh, resources into the business.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, so one more line is business analytics is mainly on your visualization side. In this country, this much has been achieved. This is the profit. If we do this, then we can achieve more. We can gain more profits. Or if we go with this insight that has been shared by the team, if we go in this route, then we might be at a loss. We might not make that much profit. Whatever profit is there, we might lose over there. So that is all about business analytics.
Yes, ma'am. So, anyone still have any queries?
Yeah. So have you shared the assignments, Celine?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The feedback form and the assignment submission form both are shared in the chat
Not
box.
form, list of assignments.
Yes, sir. They are within the feedback form, so students can get while giving their feedback.
Okay, if you would like to share screen and take them through that, it will be more beneficial. We have some time. Would you like to? Yeah.
Just a minute.
Sure. And meanwhile, students, if you have any questions or concerns or any suggestions, please type in the chat. We are here to address and listen to you. If you need any help, please leave a message in the Telegram group. Our Lighthouse team will be monitoring that. So instead of you posting messages in multiple channels, it's better we monitor in one place. So we chose Telegram group. So I hope most of you are part of that. If you are not part of the Telegram group, please join that. So the links are shared in the chat and the YouTube description also. You can just join your Telegram channel, and if you have any questions or any concerns or any help you need, if you need any hand holding with the coding part or any help, just leave a message. Team will come back to you, and we'll make sure you move forward with the obstacle whatever you face. Celine, you are trying to share screen, right?
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Just once.
In the YouTube, Director Uma Maheshwar well explained. Waiting for more events, so thank you. It's our privilege that students are trusting and coming to our events, and we'll try to stand up to the expectations and gain more trust. Thank you, Uma Maheshwar.
Yes, sir. Can I share the screen?
Yes, please go ahead. The task list is in the chat, so Gautam has shared. Celine also will be taking you through that.
Is my screen visible, sir?
Yes. And before you start, let me speak about the platform on which we are hosting the feedback and assignment link. So that is called Block Survey. So it is one of the allied companies of Sand-box. So it's also a startup company. So we have tie up with them. So whatever the feedback registrations or assignment submission forms we use are hosted on the platform. So it gives a very visual treat kind of ambience while using the forms instead of the traditional Google forms. We started using these forms. So I hope you like the platform. So if you want to speak about a bit about any suggestions to the platform, please do write in the feedback. So we'll propagate the feedback back to the team which are developing this platform, blockser.io. That will be helpful for them also. Go ahead, Celine.
Yeah, so here is the task. You can visit this while filling the assignment. So the task is first one, you have to subdivide the training data set into train and test data. So as you have learned in the session, so here you have worked only with the training data, but now you have to take the training data and subdivide it into two parts, and then you will need to model it. So as explained by Papri ma'am, you can visualize the data using the plots which was already explained in the session, and then use this new data set to predict the price of the house. So that is the aim of the assignment. You'll be predicting the price of the house, and finally you'll be using MSE, mean square error, to find the performance of the model you have created. So these are the four tasks you have to do as the submission. So after you just complete all these four, you just have to submit the link and just submit this task. That is also within 11:59 p.m. of today. So make sure you do this and receive your appreciation letter in your inbox. Yeah, that's all. Sir.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. You are muted.
I'm very sorry. So students, anyone who would like to speak, we have some 13 minutes time before we can wind up the session. Whoever has access to unmute and whoever wants to speak, please unmute and speak. And in the chat also, you can type in your messages, your suggestions, your points, anything. We are welcome. We are welcoming your messages. Please go ahead and whoever wants to speak.
Sir, like the team hasn't given, like the team hasn't said from where they can fetch the data.
The links are already provided in the chat. In the YouTube description too, you can access them.
Is it okay, Pawan?
I'll just check, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. So, anyone else would like to share any suggestions or any points? Anyone would like to talk? So whoever has speaker access, please, you can unmute and speak. And on the students on the YouTube, you can just type in the chat. Okay. So a team is available for you during the implementation window, students. So through a Telegram group, you can post in your messages and team will get back to you. So we are here to handhold you. So whatever the help you need, a team is there to help. So Anil Kumar Reddy is saying, very enlightening session. We are looking forward for furthermore. Thank you. Okay. We are thankful to all the students, Anil Kumar. And from my side, big thanks to Papri for taking out time and preparing all the materials and presentations and helping students go through the bootcamp session of data science. And
Git links
so we will plan surely in the more sessions like this, and whatever helps to students, we are ready to do that. So if you have any ideas or suggestions, please get in touch with Sand-box and we will try to onboard that idea and we'll try to execute as soon as possible. Okay.
అంటే మరి ఇప్పుడు మనకి ఏమి ఇచ్చారు? ఇప్పుడు మెయిల్ చేశారు చూడు, ఆ డేటా మరి మన దగ్గర ఉన్నదంటూ డేటా.
Any points? Any students? Anyone would like to speak? So opportunity, please go ahead and unmute and speak. Anything you want to discuss?
అయితే ఇంకో డేటా ఇవ్వాలి కదా ఆవిడ, అర్థమైంది నాకు. ఆ మూడిల మీద మనం ఆవిడ చెప్పింది
12 PM onwards the implementation window will begin and by midnight it will be closed. So make sure you submit the assignments given to you, and if you're not able to submit, so it's okay, we'll try for the next boot camp. And whoever is able to submit will evaluate and will try to issue the task completion certificate, and students who for rest of the students will give the
టెస్ట్ డేటా మీద
participation
చేసాము
certificate. Hope it
లింక్స్
will
ఉన్నాయి
benefit
ఇక్కడ.
and it will, so you can mention this
అక్కడ
project in your
ఫామ్ లో
resume and
ఎడిట్
it can
చేసేస్తా, కాలిఫోర్నియా
increase the weight of
తీసేసి
the resume.
ఈ
That's
డెస్ట్
one
డేటా అని
positive
పెడితే
side.
సరిపోద్ది.
And so we are planning to wind up the
సరే
session
సరే
if no
చెప్పేసి.
further points are coming. Students, anyone who would like to speak or any points? Yeah. Soft skills we will do. So Anil, to rephrase, as part of the life cycle of software training program with APSTC, we have given a lot of soft skill sessions. So just go through that. It should be there in the official YouTube channel of APSTC. So if required, we can also share the links through Telegram group. So we will be covering more sessions, and we are planning for more events like this. And soft skills also is a big criteria we are looking into. Yeah. So Durgarav is saying the data set is not there in Google Drive. So Pawan, is a question
Yeah,
coming
sir.
to you. Yeah.
Basically, what happened is previously we have assumed that we will be using California dataset.
Okay.
So it has been changed to salaries dataset.
Okay.
So now basically what happened is the form hasn't been like updated.
Okay.
So now we have two options.
Yeah.
Whether we need to ask them for California dataset, which is, I think so, it's pretty easy. And Papri ma'am actually used only train dataset. So there is also a test dataset for salaries. So basically we have two options, and we can ask them for any one of that. So it's your call, sir.
So go with the easiest one. So whichever student should be easy to. So because not every student is in the same page, right? So some will be moderate and someone will be on high pace. So go with the easiest one. So,
Sir, actually, in the tax submission form, we have mentioned about California housing, like price prediction.
okay, you can add a point to the other option also to the form.
So one more thing I would like to mention. I think California dataset, if I remember, Pavan, it's already there in the collab, right? We can download from there, no?
Yeah, ma'am. It's there by default.
Yeah. So we can use the California dataset only. The demo was for the salary, but the assignment is for California dataset.
Okay, ma'am. Sure.
Okay. Any other concerns? Okay, students, any other question before you wind up for today? We have 7 minutes before we close. Anything you want to know? So I hope it will be a very useful day for you. So this coming to all of us, maybe it is hectic, but it will be very productive. So when you look back and see, so this day will be remembered for the achievements you do. And team, any points you want to add? Anything we forgot or anything we need to discuss? Lighthouse team.
So 1 second, I'll just show them how to access data.
Sure. Go ahead.
So guys, as I have earlier said, how to work with Google Colab. This is an extension for that. So the task that you have been given is like you've been given is to like build a model, find MSC, and visualize the data. So basically, the thing is you need to access the data. So you know this how to connect, right? So you can go to this folder section. There will be the sample data. Then you can go to, you know, like you can find different data sets. So this is one such training data, and this is the test data. One thing you can do is you can train the model on this train data, and for testing you can for MSC and predictions you can work with this test data. So basically how to access that is 1 second. So basically for, like you can't directly add the name. So you need to give the path. So for getting the path, you can just go to this. You can copy paste the path, and so yeah, now the data has been read. So this is how you can access the data. All these sample data will be given by Google by default. So there shouldn't be any issue with the data. Okay. This is for the training data and this is for the test data. You can build the model on the trained data and you can predict using the test data. This training data should contain around 17,000 data points. So this should be fine. Hope I'm clear.
Yeah.
Can you please once again share the link on in the chat box?
I cannot share the link, but I can show you like how to access thing.
Yeah, that would be helpful, I guess.
So you need to go to the Google Colab. Um, this will be the homepage for Google Colab. You can work with the new notebook. So you need to connect to the runtime. So once it is connected to the runtime, then you will be given access to the sample data. So if you open this, you will be given drop-down options and you can find the train and test data here. You can copy the path. This would be similar for test data also. You can name it as test data and you can copy the path and you can read the data. Hope I'm clear. Any doubts?
Any questions, students? Any doubts?
So this is how you need to take the data for the task, and if you complete the task, you will be presented task certificate.
Yeah. I hope it should be clear. And
Okay.
students, any questions? Anything you want to be repeated? Please type in the chat.
So as Gautam mentioned, this is the link for getting the homepage of Google Colab. Even then, if you go for the homepage of Google Colab, you need to launch a new notebook and the steps will be similar. Or else you can just Google the Google Colab and you can do that. Anything would be fine.
Students, while sharing the links on the assignment submission form, make sure there is no duplicates or any copied variable names comes, because we have an algorithm that catches that and it may block both the source and copy duplicate. So make sure that you don't use variables that your friends use. Just have unique variable names in the codes. Okay. So I hope I have covered all the points, team. So we are reaching to the end of the session. So I hope students have given the feedback form and assignment links are handy. We will be sending the emails with the YouTube recording and assignment and feedback links. Please revert on that. And any help you need, please reach to us with the Telegram group, and we are available. Make sure, so we hope that you will make use of today's session and get your certificates ready. So we can't promise everyone will receive, but we have to evaluate and make sure the assignment submitted is up to the standard. Then only we can issue the certificate of task completion. So I think that is it from today. Thank you, students, and thank you, team, for making the session happen. And thank you, Papri, for taking your time and giving that session. Thank you, everyone. We'll make sure that today becomes productive.
Yes,
See you
sir.
soon.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Have a happy learning, everyone, and see you all in the next sandbox session.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thanks.
Thanks all.
Thank you.